Hello. In a series of lectures, we will discuss various topics associated with chemical equilibrium. We'll first start with the topic called criteria for thermodynamic equilibrium. Then we'll apply those criteria to ideal gases in equilibrium. Then we'll discuss equilibrium constants, various equilibrium constants and degree of advancement of reaction. Then we'll discuss a new concept called fugacity and activity. Then we will discuss Van 't Hoff factor, which essentially describes a relation between Gibbs free energy and the extent of reaction kind of thing. Then we will discuss free energy of mixing and spontaneity. Then we will discuss the relation between various types of chemical reaction, and equilibrium constants, like equilibrium constant at constant pressure, equilibrium constant with respect to concentration and equilibrium constant with respect to mole fraction. Then at the end we will discuss Le-Chatelier's principle. We will basically discuss the quantitative treatment of Le-Chatelier's principle. We will try to understand how equilibrium constants vary with respect to temperature, pressure and concentration. As usual, I followed these 4 books while preparing these materials. So we will start with the first topic, that is criteria for thermodynamic equilibrium. We have discussed already the fundamental equation for Gibbs energy for a closed system is given as dg is equal to vdp minus sdt plus sum over mu I dni. Mu I is the chemical potential of ith species and dni is the change in number of moles of ith species. Suppose there are n number of total species are there, so you have to take all the sums. dni's, this change in number of moles, are independent variables. Now let's consider a chemical reaction in which the reactant A goes to product B. In such a scenario, the amount of number of moles, suppose that is Ni, at any time, maybe at the starting of the reaction or towards the end of reaction, at any time, is generally given as Ni is equal to Ni0 plus Vi and Xi. Now there are lot of new terms here. Again I am repeating. For any chemical reaction, the number of moles at any time is given as number of moles at the starting stage plus the number of moles that has developed as a cause of the chemical reaction. So what are these terms? This Ni is understood, as I said, it is number of moles of ith species at any time of the reaction, and this is the number of moles at the starting phase of the reaction at 0 time. Vi is the coefficient of the species, stoichiometric coefficient of the species of ith species, and Xi is the extent of reaction. This is a new thing. We will discuss more and more about Xi. Now this validity of this equation we will verify at a later video lecture maybe, but in this series, essentially in this series we'll validate this expression. Now I'll not validate. Now I'll assume that this expression is correct and I'll go ahead with this expression. So for infinitesimal change, what I'll get if I this expression infinitesimal change, dni will be this Ni0 is a constant quantity because it is the number of moles at the starting stage. So the differentiation will be constant of a differentiation is 0. So I will get dni is equal to Vi. Vi is again constant, dxi. Now so if I substitute this dni in this equation 26, the fundamental equation of Gibbs energy, what I will get, dg is equal to vdp minus sdt plus sum over mu I dni dxi. Now at constant pressure and at constant temperature, both the terms will vanish. It is a closed system. At constant pressure and temperature, the first 2 terms will vanish. So if I rearrange this expression, what I will get, partial free energy over partial Xi at constant temperature and pressure is equal to sum over Vi mu I. Now this expression is important. We'll discuss this expression number of times in this whole series of videos. So this equation 28 is very important. Now at chemical equilibrium, what happens? The change in Gibbs energy is essentially zero. The change in Gibbs energy with respect to the extent of reaction. This xi is extent of reaction at constant temperature and pressure is zero. That is the condition for equilibrium. Any chemical reaction attains equilibrium only when this condition is satisfied. What is this condition again? This is a change in Gibbs energy with respect to the extent of reaction. So if I put that LHS in equation 28 as 0, what I will get? Sum over Vi mu I at equilibrium state is equal to 0. Now the equilibrium condition is applicable to all chemical equilibrium irrespective of whether it is a gas phase reaction, liquid or condensed phase reaction, or solid phase reaction, whether it is solution or it is a mixture, any reaction. The chemical equilibrium condition is applicable. What is the condition? The condition is sum over Vi mu I. Vi is what? The coefficient, the stoichiometric coefficients of the reactants and the products, and mu I is the chemical potential of any ith species is equal to 0. So that in this equation 28, the derivative part, this partial free energy over partial extent of reaction, or is commonly known as reaction Gibbs energy, and is represented by del Rg. Again I am repeating, the partial free energy over partial extent of reaction at constant temperature and pressure is commonly known as reaction Gibbs energy and is represented by delta Rg. So if that is the case, then I can always write delta Rg is equal to sum over I1 to n number of species Vi mu I. Again, this expression is important. We will discuss this expression a number of times during our whole discussion. Now there is according to the definition of Gibbs energy, G is equal to H minus Ts. So if I use this expression and take partial differentiation of this expression, G is equal to H minus Ts, what I will get? Partial free energy over partial extent of reaction at constant temperature pressure, partial enthalpy over partial extent of reaction. Similarly, temperature is constant, so again partial entropy divided by partial extent of reaction, so some kind of this reaction. Again, the partial free energy and partial over partial extent of reaction is delta Rg. We have just now discussed according to this expression. So what I will get? Delta Rg is equal to delta Rh minus T delta Rs. What is delta Rg? Reaction Gibbs energy. What is delta Rh? Reaction enthalpy. And what is delta Rs? This is reaction entropy. The corresponding expression at standard state becomes delta Rg0 is equal to delta Rh0 minus T delta Rs0. Now we'll discuss a general case to summarize kind of thing. The reaction Gibbs energy at standard state is equal to sum over of Gibbs energy of formation at standard state of products minus Gibbs energy of formation for reactants. Again I am repeating, the Gibbs energy of reaction at standard state is equal to sum over of Gibbs energy of formation of products minus sum over of Gibbs energy of formation of reactants. This RHS side, right hand side of this expression is generally expressed as sum over I Vi delta F G0. This delta F G0 is Gibbs energy of formation. So this expression essentially means there is a product side minus reactant side is there. Now let us consider a general, whatever we have discussed so far, to understand that in a better way, let us consider a reaction in which the reactant A goes to product B, and in this simple reaction the stoichiometric coefficients are 1. Here Va and Vb are 1. So I can write if the pressure and temperature are constant. So according to this expression, this equation 30, I can always write that delta Rg is equal to mu B minus mu A. What is mu B? The chemical potential of product B. What is mu A? The chemical potential of reactant A. Now in last lectures we have discussed, if the chemical potential of reactant is higher than the chemical potential of product, the reaction will proceed towards right, or more and more product will form. If the reverse case is true, that is the chemical potential of B is more than A, then the reaction will go towards backward, means more and more reactants will form. And what is the third scenario? If both of the chemical potential is same, the chemical potential of component A and component B are same, means the reaction is at equilibrium. To understand this in pictorial form, let's draw. It is a graph showing Gibbs energy and extent of reaction xi. So what this graph explains? Now suppose assume this y-axis here, it is A. Suppose this component is pure A. The y-axis signifies at the left hand side it says pure A, and at the right hand side the y-axis is pure B. So what happens, as more and more A are converted to B, the Gibbs energy decreases. Now similarly, if I start from B towards A, the backward reaction, there also the reaction Gibbs energy decreases. At a particular concentration, at a particular mixture concentration, it is a better word to say, the reaction Gibbs energy, change in reaction Gibbs energy becomes 0. To understand this in terms of chemical potential, when mu A is greater than mu B, the reaction proceeds towards forward direction. When mu B is greater than mu A, the reaction proceeds towards backward direction. At a particular concentration of both A and B, at a particular ratio of A and B, the reaction Gibbs energy is 0. Otherwise, I can say the chemical potential of A becomes equal to chemical potential of B. Now, what is this extent of reaction, or what is this concentration? It depends upon the reaction. It depends upon the nature of A and B. Now, there is another way to find out the equilibrium. I have said only one condition to find out the equilibrium, that at equilibrium the free energy of the reaction is 0. That is the first condition we have discussed. The one more other way of finding equilibrium state is the slope. The slope of Gibbs energy is 0. At equilibrium, the slope of change of reaction Gibbs energy is 0. Here from A to B in the forward direction, the slope decreases gradually. Similarly, in the backward direction, the slope decreases, negative slope kind of thing. And at equilibrium, we get a 0 slope. So that is also another method of identification of equilibrium state of a reaction. Then we will go discuss chemical equilibrium in ideal gases. Let us consider an ideal gas reaction in which gas A is going to gas B, or gas A is forming gas B. It can be two different forms, or it can be isomeric form also, whatever it is, but we are assuming that they are in ideal state. So what happens again, the VA, the stoichiometric coefficients are 1 here, the stoichiometric VA is 1, VB is 1. For at a constant temperature and pressure, what will happen? I will get the change in free energy is equal to mu B minus mu A. Again, from the last classes we know the chemical potential expression or partial molar Gibbs energy. The partial molar Gibbs energy is nothing but same as chemical potential. So the expression for partial molar Gibbs energy or chemical potential of ith species is given as mu I is equal to mu I0 plus RT ln Pi by P0. Pi is the pressure of species I, and mu I0 is standard state chemical potential. And what is P0? P0 is a reference pressure, reference state pressure, and it is generally the standard state pressure, and its value is around 1 atmosphere or 1 bar. Now suppose when I substitute this chemical potential expression, this is for ith species, but I am considering a reaction where A is forming B. So I'll replace my A and B chemical potential of A and B. I'll write, and then I'll substitute those chemical potential for A and B in this change in free energy of reaction. What I'll get if I substitute mu B and mu A considering this expression, then I'll get change in free energy of reaction is equal to delta R G0 plus RTLN PB by PA. These are pressures of component B and this is pressure of component A. What is I have skipped one step here. We have to take mu A and mu B, then we substitute here and I will get this expression. But then what is delta R G0? Delta R G0 is nothing but mu B0 minus mu A0. I encourage you better write one more step here so that you can find out this expression, that delta R G0 is equal to mu B0 minus mu A0. If I substitute this one, this here. So what is the there are two important things we are getting, that is reaction gives energy and reaction gives energy at standard state. This standard state is obvious. At the standard state, the activities of all the substances means reactants and products, are all unity. Now what is activities, we'll discuss in a subsequent lecture. When the activities of reactants and products are all unity, that is the standard state. When the activities are not unity, it is not unity, then it is any other state we can say, and that is called the Gibbs reaction free energy. Then again at equilibrium the change in free energy is 0. So this expression, this equation 32 here at equilibrium, this change in reaction Gibbs energy will be 0. So what I will get, the standard state free energy will be equal to minus RTLN PB by PA. That is what we have written here. The standard state free energy is equal to minus RTLN PB by PA, because at equilibrium the change in reaction Gibbs energy is 0. Now suppose delta R G0 is negative. When delta R G0 is negative, or the free energy change at standard state is negative, the reactants will be converted to products easily, means the reaction will proceed in a forward manner. When the opposite happens, that is the standard state free energy of reaction is positive, then the reverse reaction will take place, means products will drag the reactants, products will form more and more reactants. So we'll stop here. In the next class we'll discuss about equilibrium constant and degree of advancement of reaction.